Hi everybody, it's Tash here and welcome back to the How to Renovate podcast. This week I thought I would do a really quick episode on why you should have things in your home that tell a story. I've recently finished a client project and we're now at the stage where we're adding some really lovely things into the home. Some really beautiful pieces, some artworks, the most gorgeous family tree that we're looking to have made bespoke. And it just made me think that I should record an episode on this. And I just think it's so lovely that she's taking the time to really think so carefully about what she wants to include in a home now that it's been renovated, and she's really enjoying the space and she's really enjoying living there and having others come in and enjoy it with her. And so she wants to kind of add those other levels and layers to the home now. And I feel really lucky that she has decided to include me in that process. So that's why I'm doing this episode. And so I thought I'd just run through really quickly a few reasons why it's so lovely to do this. So let's get into the episode. Now, I think having things in your home that tell a story is so powerful. It really can transform your space. It can give it a different feeling. I think it just makes it more kind of deeply personal and adds some meaning to your environment. And particularly for you, I don't think this is so much about others. It's for you and yours, your family, or whoever lives in your home. You want it to have meaning for you, and you want to have these things around you that bring back memories, that inspire you, that bring you joy. And so that's why I think it's really lovely to have things in your home that tell a story. So firstly, I think bringing in things that tell a story really reflect your identity, because I think you kind of link, your stories link to your identity, don't you? Your identity is the combination of stories that have happened to you, that is your life. And so I think just having these things in your home just reflect who you are. And really your stories could come from so many things. They could be objects from your childhood, they could be colours from your childhood, they could be items from where you grew up, the country you grew up in if you live in a different country now. They could be souvenirs or heirlooms or art. You know, things that really show your experience, your life experience so far, your values, what you find precious. And I always say about this, kind of adding these finishing touches to your home, that these are things that don't always have to cost a lot of money. These are things that are really meaningful, things that you can bring back from your travels, things that have actual meaning for you. They don't always have to cost money. So I think this is why I love this as well, because I just think it's something everyone can do. Because I think bringing things from your travel or from your childhood, just they kind of bring the sense of self, the sense of connection to your home. And I always say, it's, you know, it's not always about things. It's not always about having objects, but in terms of the feeling of your home, whether you're bringing in some color or some pattern or some textures from your childhood or from your story into your home, I really think that counts as well. And then secondly, having things in your home that tell a story really sparks conversation and connection with those people coming into your home, whether they be friends, visitors. These kind of story-filled items really will start a conversation. And I think what a lovely thing to have in your home is to have objects that start conversations with people who come to visit you and take the time to come and see you. And so having, whether it be an object from your travel or even a family portrait or family tree, like I just said, can you just imagine the amount of conversations that could spark? And I just think obviously conversation is connection, and so sometimes just having a conversation starter is a great way to start connecting with someone who perhaps had not visited your home before. And so I really think that's a lovely part of this as well. Recently, my husband Rich has been finding these posters. So they are these posters of swimming pools, but aerial shots, and they by this photographer called Andreas Gursky. And there are a few other prints he's liked from the same artist before, but he's now discovered these swimming pool shots. So he's put a couple of framed ones around the house, and when we've had people over for dinner or friends over, they've really noticed them. And I have to say, they weren't my favourite. I'm not so keen on them. There's one that I'm okay with. I think it looks all right. The other one, the jury's still out. But I have to say, everybody who comes in now says, what's the deal with these swimming pool pictures? They want to know why is it on the wall, who the artist is, what do we find interesting about it? And it really has started so many conversations. I don't think anybody who's come in since we put them up has not mentioned them. And I've just found this so interesting that just putting up a couple of pictures of these German swimming pools have really caught people's interest and started lots of different conversations. So it could literally be anything that tells a story. If it's slightly interesting, people will want to know about it. They want to talk about it and start the conversation. And I always think that's such a lovely thing. And then, of course, you can't have things in your home that tell a story without putting them there with intention to kind of evoke an emotion or nostalgia or memory. And this is another lovely thing I love about this, is because those special items that you have in your home just take you back. They just take you back to that moment when it was made for you, it was given to you, when you found it. We have many things around our house that do this for us. You know, we have things the children have made for us, whether they're silly or ridiculous or lovely. We have, you know, silly photos, that point in time that made us really laugh, and you know, it's captured there to remember every day. So think about those special things that you want to bring into your home that bring that sense of happiness, comfort, and bringing those really, really good memories back to your everyday life. I heard once, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but people who generally have photos of their family around them generally live happier lives. It's the constant reminder of those memories and why you've made your home and what your home means to you. So I think it's always really nice to take the time, look through your photos. They just live on our phones now, don't they? Look through your photos on your phone. Take one afternoon or a couple of hours in the evening to just send those off to print and get some frames for them and put them up. It doesn't have to be a huge deal. I remember maybe back in the 90s or so, I don't know if you remember, but it was quite the thing to have these huge pictures of your family or your kids blown up and wrapped around these canvases and had really large on your walls in your home. But I think, you know, it's the little things. And in my own home, we just have little standard 6x4 photos that cost about £1 or £2 to have printed. And then I've just found some really nice frames, and on shelves dotted around the house here and there, we have photos of everyone in our family, some of our friends or the kids with our friends, some really good days we've had out. And they just these little constant reminders of why we're doing everything we're doing, why we're working so hard, why we've made the home we've made. And so I do think, you know, take the time to keep those memories going. And then lastly, in this shorty episode, is that having things that tell a story just create a sense of home. So I think, just to wrap up everything we've talked about, you know, having these things around you, these reminders, these memories, that is what a home is. It's the place where your memories are kept safe, where your family is kept safe, and it's filled with meaningful things to you. And I think, especially now in these times that we're living in, you know, it's difficult to think about how many people in the world are having their homes destroyed, taken away, whether it be by war, by natural disasters, by flooding, by fires. It seems to be particularly apocalyptic at the moment. And I just think that we really want to kind of treasure these things in our homes and treasure our homes themselves, because we're so lucky. How lucky are we to have what we have to have a safe, warm place called home, where we can still have all of our family, our memories, our possessions in these safe four walls. And so I think that really nicely wraps up this episode. I hope you'll go away, and if you haven't had the time yet, take the time to add those special little things into your home that tell a story. And I'll see you in the next episode. For more information on my 5-pillar process for successful renovation, you can go directly to southplacestudio.com/pillars, where you'll find an introduction to the process which covers each of the pillars and what they cover. We also have a number of other free renovation resources. Go now to southplacestudio.com/freebies. I have created some amazing freebies for you there. There is one on the process, like we just said. There is one on planning permission. There is one on kitchen design. There is another one on lighting planning. Go and check those out. There's so much free information there to help you with your renovation.